Sorry about that. I had to take that call because the last one I'm seeing, Dad's he had bowel cancer. Got the all clear, but it came back. He's in remission and everything, and now he's fucked. He's not been very good recently. He's in hospital, so she's just called to give me an update. And she's going through a lot, he's going through a lot, so just said, if she ever needs anything, call. So, I will literally end videos. I know I'm pretty shit at making videos and I really could do more to edit them, but what I like is the full playthrough. I suppose it's down to taste, you get these videos, they're good, high quality edited, you get these, your zoom ins and your noises, your audio, you can make it funnier and it's not. But with me, when a cut happens in the game, something's about to happen, a jump scare's coming up, With a full playthrough, I think you get stuck into the atmosphere as you do playing the game. But who am I to say, listen, I just record what I play because I'm sad as fuck and have no friends, and this way it makes talking to myself feel like I'm not insane. So but yeah, happy days, we're gonna carry on. And before we carry on, I'm actually gonna put my phone on fucking charge. Also, one thing I've just seen is my brother's just sent me a WhatsApp message. The remake of Duke Nukem 3D is called the Serious Duke Nukem 3D. Where Duke Nukem's being remade into the style how Duke Nukem was it? I can't remember what it's called now. The Duke Nukem, that, to be fair, it got a lot of flack. I didn't think it was that bad. I just thought there was a lot of game mechanics that they fucked up on. Things like having 4 guns and that, but how that looked, the graphic wise and everything, is going to be Duke Nukem 3D remade. But the game that we should have had. But I quite enjoyed the first one, the new one. I can't remember what it's called now. I was going to do my head, was it like... It wasn't World Tour, because that's what I just played. Like the World Tour Edition, they called it. Well, I thought it was an alright game, but the thing was I didn't buy it brand new as it released. I got it for like £4 in CEX. So for £4 I couldn't complain. It had the humour, you could pick out a turd of a toilet and get an achievement for it. You could draw dicks with whiteboard markers on things, Well, either way, back to Harvester.
Mr. Johnson has a liking for me. I call it a crush, but that's too innocent a word. He's a bitter man with too much time on his hands. He's never gotten over being rejected by the lodge, and there's something unwholesome in the way he looks at me. I'm always glad when the sheriff comes in every day at noon.
Oh, so the way he was going on, I thought him and Edna were an item then, but Edna is just obsessed though.
Sheriff Dwayne is such a dear man. And I don't just say that because he's my most regular customer. Every single day, rain or shine, he comes in here at noon for lunch. Sits in the same spot too. That's at least an hour every day when I can be sure Mr. Johnson won't show up. It's funny. Dwayne never comes in here with Deputy Loomis, but he frequently dines with Mr. McKnight, the owner of the TV station. Sometimes he comes in with Postmaster Boyle, but somehow I don't think they're friends.
Does that make it look like she's talking? Hi, I got funky lips and an arrow on my cheek. Give me a kiss. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Mr. Johnson has a liking.
Oh shit, I've already... Sheriff,
it...
TV station.
Mr. McKnight owns the TV station WHAR. He seems to get along with Sheriff Dwayne better than Boyle does. Better than just about anyone, to tell the truth. I don't see the connection between them, but I'll bet you dollars to donuts that it's there anyhow. Though I see them together a lot, Boyle and the sheriff never act very friendly towards each other. Almost like there's some kind of bond between them besides friendship, though what it might be I can't imagine. Maybe Sheriff Dwayne resents the fact that he's never been able to get into the lodge. Though that's not Boyle's fault. He just hands out the applications. He doesn't decide who gets admitted. Stop by anytime.
Oh, should I ask her about the lodge, actually?
I can't talk.
Oh, shit.
Stop by anytime.
The grease fryer is off. Can I turn it on and throw the girl on it?
Bye-bye.
I thought she died then. I want to punch the child. Right, so let's set this to the police station. We'll go police station first. The cop ignores you, too busy writing a bug report. Tips for teens, the kind you don't see in magazines. Tips for teens. Who the fuck is... That's pink. Sheriff Dwayne's definitely wearing pink. He's wearing more, you know, sheriff shit. Deputy Loomis. So you got a fan, you got a coffee pot. Something tells me I'm gonna have to try and nick that coffee pot, but we'll save the game. And this time we'll go plip. Pot hisses at you from its perch. Okay, maybe we don't nick it.
Hello, Steve. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sheriff Dwayne, and this here's Loomis.
Pleasure, I reckon.
Then, we haven't met before?
Of course we have, but I heard about your alleged amnesia and figured I'd play along. I sure hope this is just a prank. Not the start of some insanity plea. Keep your nose clean, or you'll wind up in jail, and that's no place to hold a wedding.
I understand you witnessed Miss Whaley's dispensing a little discipline at the school, and she thinks you may be feeling a mite bent about it.
Oh, what do I say? Yeah.
You need to forget about it, boy. I
See.
don't interfere in school discipline. I leave that to the professionals.
Let's see what I can.
And so should you. Heck, there isn't a psychiatrist around who'd disagree about what a calming influence a dent in the head can be. You can't argue with science, Steve. It's bigger than all of us.
Oh, I was hoping I could press him to shoot me or something.
Why do you want to break your poor mama's heart with all this amnesia bunk?
I'm telling you the truth. Why won't anyone believe me?
Well, you've always been a kidder, Steve.
Yeah, so everybody keeps telling me.
Boy, you need to stop all this funning and get serious. You've got a wedding coming up soon. Heck, you should be thinking about your career and about joining the lodge. Amnesia or no, you can't have forgotten you're about to marry the prettiest little thing in Harvest. I think you and Stephanie are perfect for each other. I just hope her father's disappointment doesn't spoil everything.
Disappointment?
Mr. Potsdam wants to hold the wedding in the lodge, but he'll never get in.
Like all the rest, he's always hanging around the post office the first day of the month, waiting for Boyle to bring out that month's lodge applications. And there's always a long line, never enough applications to go around, and even if you do get an application, chances are you're right out of luck. Fewer called to the order and even less accepted. And Potsdam, well, they've turned him down so many times, unless he does something radical, he'll never get in. Crime-wise, nothing much has happened in Harvest since the newspaper fire. Oh, sure, every week or so we get the odd transient dropping dead, but other than that, it gets pretty slow around here. We get a lot of bums, drifters passing through Harvest. Those people are never very healthy to start with. I figure they come to our fair town, look around and decide it's a nice place to die.
You mean they drop dead here on a regular basis?
Like flies. I'd slap them all in jail if I could, but there's never enough room. Besides, they're pretty good about not sticking around long. Sure, it's a burden on Mr. Barnahan, though, having to bury them all. I only hope the PTA Lodge bake sale will help out along those lines. Now that's a place you don't want to wind up, boy. We've got a 3 strikes and you're out rule here in Harvest. You get arrested the 3rd time, you never get out of jail alive. So don't go committing any crimes, boy. Amnesia or no, I'll lock you up pronto. Why do you want to break?
I'm telling...
Well, you've...
Yeah.
Boy, I don't mind telling you, I'd never get anything done if not for the Lodge's efforts. To join the Order of the Harvest Moon is the highest dream of everyone in Harvest.
Ooh, should I say it?
That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. When I was a boy, I wanted to join the Lodge. I would have too when I grew up, except neither my teacher nor my clergyman helped me. A man can't realize his dreams without help. My failure to gain admission is the failure of all of Harvest, Steve, and don't you forget it. Boy, whether you know it or not, you want to join the Lodge. Or you will soon enough, especially with the wedding coming up. Amnesia or no, you can't have forgotten you're about to
disappoint.
Mister. And there's...
Right, so we did crime, wedding lodge, I mean, that's everything then, isn't it?
Stop on buying it.
Right, that's everything from you. It's labelled unsolved arson and it's full. Unsolved murders and it's full. The door is locked.
That's the evidence room, where we store items lifted from crime scenes. It's kept locked at all times. There's things in there that could make people jump through hoops, if I wanted.
Anything I can help you with? Help yourself. Speaking of which, you're real lucky to be marrying Stephanie. She don't look like a good woman. I just hope she don't turn out like Mrs. Loomis, or mercy forbid Mrs. Phelps. Good women can be awful hard on a man's needs, don't you know?
Fucking hell, talking to him's gonna be a nightmare. A man's needs.
Why, you sure ought to appreciate what a man's gotta do sometimes in a parked car, or a waist-high knothole in a tree, or jail cell at noon. Matter of fact, Mrs. Phelps got no reason not to sell you some of them French postcard girly picture books. If you can get any, you see clear to part with them. Bring 'em round when the sheriff's at lunch, and I'd be obliged.
Ah, haha, so he wants the dirty magazine.
Mrs. Phelps down at the general store don't help things none. She's got them special picture books, the one with the ladies. But she won't sell me none on account of she knows my wife, Mrs. Loomis. Dadgum if that don't burn my britches. If I even ask about 'em, she tells Mrs. Loomis and I get the broom. Enough to break a man's heart. Her burning my French postcards and me unable to replace them. A man's got needs, don't you know?
So this guy's so gutted that he can't crack one out. French
Of course, I
postcards.
don't necessarily mean French postcards. That's just what we called them in my day. Any kind of girly picture book, the kind men like, would be just dandy. I'd be right grateful, kiddo, if you were to bring me one.
No problem.
Anytime, kiddo.
And on that note, we leave you on the flip.